Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about The Flash, Episode 5, Plastique. So let's begin with Plastique herself. What did I think of her? I thought it was really cool that she was connected to the army, but what they tried to trick us with was that General Eiling, I think the character's name was. They tried to make us think that he created her, which it actually turned out to be the power generator that created her along with everybody else, which was pretty obvious. I think all of us were expecting that. As a character, I thought she was alright, actually. I didn't think she was outstanding. Will we see her again? I don't think she died in that explosion. I think one day we will see her again. Speaking of General Eiling, Wade Eiling, played by Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is an awesome actor. He was in Shawshank Redemption. That's the movie that always comes to my mind when I think of Clancy Brown, as well as he's kind of connected to the DC universe already because he was also the voice of Lex Luthor in Superman the Animated Series, as well as Justice League Unlimited. So he kind of has that DC connection already, which is pretty cool, and he's done many other voice work and live action work. So it was great to have him on the show because of his great talent. Barry, Grant Gustin as Barry is, he continues to show a lot of strength in the role. I think he definitely was a great choice when introduced in Arrow, and I feel he's coming a long way already. We're only episode 5, but I feel he's had a lot to do in this episode where we haven't gotten to see him shine yet. So his moment with Iris in the episode, I'm not always cool with the teen drama, but I felt it worked okay here. I feel though that when he was trying to hide his face from her by blurring himself a little bit, I don't. What's the point of having a mask if if it's not gonna help keep your identity? I mean, I guess you could say that, yeah, well, people closer to him will know. But then, Arrow doesn't do stuff like that. Like, he goes out with a mask, and he's cool with it, and, what's his name? Detective Lance doesn't, realize that, oh, look, Oliver's the Arrow, I figured, the voice thing makes sense, but I feel the blurring of the face, I don't know, maybe people can't suspend their disbelief or something nowadays, but I feel they didn't have to go that far in keeping his identity a secret. I think the audience would be willing to be okay. As long as he has the mask, I think the audience would be okay with him hiding his identity that way, but I don't know. I guess they want to try to be as grounded as possible, and that's why. It didn't bother me too much, but I'm saying I could have left that blurring the face part out, but whatever. Harrison Wells, we got to learn a little bit more about him in this episode. Specifically that he used to work closely with General Wade Eiling, and clearly there was some tension there at the end of the episode, and we got to see an interesting flashback, which I am totally geeking out about. Grodd. For those of you that don't know, that gorilla in the cage at the very end with the name Grodd attached, Gorilla Grodd is one of the Flash's enemies in the comics, and he is in fact a gorilla that can actually talk, and he's very intelligent. So think of it like Planet of the Apes. We're gonna probably be seeing Grodd as a villain to the Flash. We don't know when, but it's obviously coming. Now this also This episode also made me realize about Harrison Wells. Does he know not just about the Flash, but about his rogues gallery as well? Because it seems like he's been getting these villains to come out. Like, it seemed like he wanted Plastique to go out and get shot. At first, I thought he wanted Eiling dead, and that's why he was sending her out. But now, when I think about it, I think he knew that was all going to happen, and Barry was going to do what he was going to do. I think he's specifically letting all this happen, and he knows it's supposed to happen, and he wants to see it unfold. Why? I have no idea. And it will be interesting to see. Man, he's the one I want to know what his secrets are the most, you know, because he's the interesting one. And there's a lot of theories going around that he might be the Reverse Flash. I don't think so. I think he's too obvious of a choice, and you know, maybe he will be, and I'll be eating my words in a few weeks. Who knows? But I am very curious to what he's all about, because he's the most interesting one to me right now. I'm enjoying all the characters, but if I had to pick the most interesting character, Harrison Wells would be that character that I'm the most interested and invested in right now. I really love the moment between Detective West and Barry, where, you know, they're having a little talk in the lab, and there were a lot of nice exchanges between them. And, you know, Detective West, Joe West, I really thought, he's a great character, a great father figure, and I love that he knew that Barry was in love with his daughter, and he wanted him to be with her. I thought that was really cool and really nice, and it just makes Detective West, in my opinion, much more cooler than he already is. And the actor that portrays him, Jesse L. Martin, he does a really good job too, and you really feel that warmth from the character to Barry, that he is another father figure to him. So the chemistry between all these actors are really good. So with all of that being said, guys, I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun. That ending so got me pumped for whatever's coming up in the upcoming episodes. I'm really excited. The Flash, it's becoming a really cool show. I'm glad I started watching. I'm glad it's connected to Arrow, because these two are definitely my top 2 favorite shows right now, Flash and Arrow, with Gotham coming in 3rd place. So DC, man. DC is winning when it comes to television, and I'm glad, because DC needs some advantage, and if it's going to be television, then so be it, Also, before I leave, I want to leave you all with a little trivia. Okay, here we go. Clancy Brown, who guest starred today as General Wade Ealing, was the voice of Lex Luthor, as I stated earlier. Now, there is a episode of Justice League Unlimited where the Flash, voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, played Lex Luthor on Smallville. In this episode titled The Great Brain Robbery, I think that was the title of the episode, the Flash and Lex Luthor switch bodies, or switch brains. So Clancy Brown sort of voiced the Flash for a brief time, even though it was in Lex Luthor's body. He sort of voiced the Flash for that one episode, and now he's in the Flash. I just thought that was a cool little trivia I could tell you all. The connection between Smallville, Justice League, the animated series, and now the Flash, because Clancy Brown, connects them all. Okay, I'm done.